Coming up next on The Bell Howard Show, you're canceled, so now what? We talked to a Hollywood producer who went through a re-education program for canceled celebrities, and he's ready to tell his story the way they want him to tell it. Don't cancel Grandpa, kids, or he'll cut you out of the will.
Welcome to Freedom Island. You're listening to The Bell Howard Show. And now, here's your host, Bell Howard.
Welcome to the oil rig. Climb aboard this island of freedom in a sea of technocratic nonsense. We're 100% free, folks. Free thought, free expression, and free coffee, but not free love, because it will get you canceled. Folks, there's a plague of cancellations that is ruining lives. People that we once looked up to, now we're supposed to avert our gaze when we pass by them on the street because 10 years ago they commented on their secretary's weight, or they invited someone to their hotel room for lunch and answered the door with their bathrobe hanging wide open. I mean, we've all done it. But now it's inexcusable, and it will result in a loss of employment. Things are just crazy, folks. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of the most recent victim of cancel culture, Benjamin Leibowitz, beloved ventriloquist who, along with his, I can't say the D word, D-U-M-M-Y. I'll just say his doll, even though people will probably take issue with that word too. He and his doll, Jerome, who happened to be black, they hosted a children's puppet show in the 60s called Equal Street, a PBS show in which he and Jerome explored themes of race, inequality, and government infiltration of left-wing organizations for children. I used to watch it. It was way ahead of its time. Well, someone in the liberal media decides to cancel Benjamin, who's now in his 80s, because he kept his puppet in a box when they weren't on stage. I mean, now, if his puppet or doll happened to be white, would we even be having this conversation? And now all that work that he and his dummy Jerome did, his doll Jerome did to teach kids about systemic racism through marionettes is suddenly null and void. Benjamin Leibowitz gave a voice to the voiceless, and this is the thanks he gets. It's insane, people. And so what if you're canceled? What do you do? Can you come back to society? Can you come back to the fold? One canceled Hollywood producer is trying to do just that. He recently went through a rehab or re-education program in Maui that promised to make him uncancelable. You may know his pre-canceled work, some of the raunchiest 80s rom-coms ever. Let's see, Beef Boys 2, Miami Barbecue. But personally, I like his film Rice Bowl, where a young Mike Ditka plays a struggling coach that is forced to coach a football team in Japan. It's classic stuff. But here he is to talk about all that and whether or not someone can get uncanceled. It's Milo McCracken. Milo, thanks for coming on.
It's really sad that you mention those films. You know, I disown them. They were so wrong. Bell, I'm a changed man now.
See, that to me is sad. How can you disown Sorority Slasher and Sorority Slasher 2, Busty's Revenge?
Oh, don't even mention those names. Ugh, I can't take it. I'm gonna be sick.
Oh, wow. They really did a number on you, Milo, at those re-education camps.
Excuse me, no, they're Thought Realignment Seminars. And they feature many prominent speakers like Robin DiAngelo, the author of White Fragility.
Well, that doesn't sound so bad, I guess. At a seminar, at least you get coffee. So what's it like there?
They sit you in a theatre mostly and put you in a chair with minimal restraint. At first it's uncomfortable, but you learn to like it after a while. You know, they turn up the air conditioning, so if you want to keep warm, your straight jacket is your best friend.
They had you in a straitjacket?
Well, it's important that you stay still during the movies.
And what kind of films were they showing you, Milo?
Mostly Donald Trump dancing for 16 hours straight. I mean, just when you can't take it and you feel your brain beginning to melt, the image on the screen of this horrible man dissolves into the face of Obama, the giver of life and salvation. And then it dissolves once more into Joe Biden, his only son, begotten, not made, one in being with the Father.
Well, that sounds intense, Milo. I mean, I remember you back in the 80s. I met you at a few jacuzzi parties. This was before I met my wife, of course. No, wait, this was when I was trying to find my wife at said jacuzzi party.
Well,
when she...
don't even know. I mean, it's all down the memory hole now. I mean, I know I came from Scotland in the 70s to break into the movie business. If I went back in time, I wouldn't even recognize myself. I'm a totally different person now.
And so, are you uncanceled, Milo? Can you now work in the business?
Oh, thankfully, yes. And I was lucky to help out on the film Peter Pan. It's basically Peter Pan with a tough woman of color who leads the Lost Girls against the evil Captain Trump.
Peter Pan. Sounds like a winner. So, you were producer on that, or?
No, I was boom mic operator number 2.
Well, at least you're working, Milo. But this is, don't you think this is a little excessive? I mean, to have to go to these thought alignment seminars, do we really have to think this way? Does everyone have to think alike? I mean, this is thought police at its worst. And I always thought you were a free thinker.
Bell, turn away from sin and repent. The new world order is at hand. Change your ways. They were right about me. I'm just a racist white man, and my culture is toxic. Even the clothes I wear, the kilt is a toxic masculinity at its worst.
I mean, I always thought the kilt was sort of like a skirt and not that manly at all.
No, if I'm wearing a kilt and sitting across from you, I'm like Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct. My toxic masculinity is on display for the world to see.
So you're not wearing the kilt anymore. What are you wearing?
I'm wearing a dress.
Now I'm confused.
We're all confused. It's okay. As long as we're all confused together and have no idea what's going on. I mean, that's the natural state of society, isn't it? Luckily, I've found a place where men like me can support each other here in downtown Santa Barbara. It's called Laddies.
Laddies? What is that?
As far as I know, Laddies is the only Scottish-owned gay bar in America.
Well, Milo, I mean, going back to the jacuzzi parties, you were quite the ladies' man.
Bell, thanks to my thought realignment therapy, I'm now a laddies man.
All right, Milo McCracken, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming on, Milo. I'm glad you're working, and best of luck to you.
Bell, you should be cancelled too, by the very fact that you live on an oil rig, you racist son of a...
All right, bye, Milo. Oh, how the mighty have been canceled. All right, folks, if you want to stay in touch with the show, join our little army that's growing on Facebook. Go to The Bell Howard Show on Facebook. And you can also follow me on Twitter at TheBellHoward. And leave me a voice message at anchor.fm/BellHoward. All one word. We'll be back next week with more malarkey. Until then, you know what to do. Stay safe, stay sane, and stay free. Bye now.
We're all confused. It's okay. As long as we're all confused together